What's up, y'all?
That's all, apparently.
What, you got something to add? You got something to add?
I have... Oops, I just hit my mic. Green Doritos.
Nice.
I've been looking for these, not really, but I've been craving them. And George looked for them for me and couldn't find them. So I had to get some.
Yeah.
They be looking different than they usually look. And honestly, they're a little less spicy. I think there's just less flavoring.
Not the same?
I hate the curled ones. I try to avoid them.
My beard and mustache are on fleek.
True. A little ASMR crunch.
So we got some... got some stuff we're working on. We're going to be working on a schedule. We went to a young adult conference with our church.
I'm absolutely starving. And I'm extremely tired. So I'm eating Doritos instead of getting some actual food. But I did have cottage cheese. Is that gross to lick my fingers on camera?
I don't know. Put it in the comments, guys.
Because I'm going to do it.
Is it gross?
Anyhow, Young Adults Retreat. It was very cool.
Yeah, it was
Very
a good
fun. Motivational.
Right. But biblically based as well.
No, I was just saying what it was to me.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, you know. Sometimes church becomes too much just like self-help and this, that, the other thing. Like, here's how you feel good.
And that was not how it was. I was just telling some kids today that were like complaining about some other kid. And they were like, and I was only yelling at her because she did this and I didn't like that. And I was like, tough luck, my guy. Stuff's gonna happen that you don't like. And then I said, you can always get what you want. And then one of them was like, my mom gives me whatever I want. And I was like, that's not gonna last forever. Life's not about you getting what you want. And they were like, I was like, yeah? You thought you were cool for a minute? You're not. Welcome to the real world.
Dang. Esther was coming after him.
Someone's gotta tell these kids what's up. I don't sugarcoat it. Except when I do.
So we went to...
Some kids you have to because they get like super distraught and you have to like de-escalate them. So you gotta be like, oh, what happened, buddy? Even though they were causing the problem.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm about to fall out this chair. I'm so dang tired. My body's killing me. We went on that trip. Did a whole bunch of stuff. Had a grand old time. But we spent forever driving back, so we were doing fun stuff on the way back too.
Yeah.
Got home at like 12 on Saturday.
Who was driving though?
Chargy boy! Good old Georgie. Or the Tesla, actually. Or a combination of both. We won't say what percentage of each one. So anyways, got home super late. Then had to get ready for bed, blah, blah, blah. Bring all the stuff in. Then we had church the next day. And then after church, we had Mother's Day thing that was delayed.
We did it a week later, yeah.
So, and then Monday, which is today, I went to work at 9:30. Got off at 5:30. Went straight from work to here for like 20 minutes. And then we went bowling. 2 games. Bigly tiring. I just feel like falling over and passing from existence. But here we are.
Yeah.
Because we said we would live Monday evening.
Actually,
And-
specifically.
And it's Monday evening.
Specifically, Esther gave the idea for tonight's live.
I'm still looking at myself. I'm across the room from the screen, and I'm still looking over there.
Esther, what is the... So we went to this... It kind of just has to do with... we went to this event, and it just kind of...
Gave us the old kickstart.
Yeah, you go to these things, and... It's...
Which I feel like was great timing, because at the start of the year... we had our awakening also with our church.
Right.
Where you fast whatever you want for 21 days.
Or whatever.
So I feel like we started the year off good. And then I joined a Bible study a while ago that just ended last Tuesday. So I feel like this was a perfect time for another, little push of motivation.
Well, it's kind of,
Just
what happens. It's a continual process,
Exactly
and
what I was saying. So I need continual things to
Right.
motivate. And
It's a continual process. I always talk about, it's an uphill, battle with I don't even know what's the thing that what's something that you can ride that doesn't have any brakes? A unicycle.
roller coaster.
It's like an uphill
In a perfect
battle
roller coaster is the uphill.
on a unicycle, because it's like if you stop going forward, you're
going
gonna go
backwards.
down. So anyway, so we've been going backwards for a little bit, and it always takes. I would say we've been putting in a little bit of effort, right, the whole time. But so we've been going up the hill a little bit, slipping down maybe a couple times, but then putting in a lot of effort is just what it takes to keep things going. And for me, I don't want to simplify it, but for me, doing things is what keeps me happy, so to speak. So I don't want to.
Your happiness? Not important. Not what life's about.
So I don't want to simplify it so much to be like, oh, you can be happy if you just do stuff. I'm not saying that, because that's a different conversation for me personally.
Because you can also just keep yourself distracted with doing things, and that's why you're happy. But you're really just distracted.
Okay, yeah, true, but that's another thing. I'm just talking about, like, if someone is, depressed or something. I don't want to say just do things and you'll feel happy, but that's definitely part of it. I mean, if you...
I got the Tesla merch.
Oh, Tesla merch. Boom, boom. We visited the only Tesla lounge.
Where's the other Tesla thing? It says.
Yeah, it'll be hard to see, but it's there. Yeah. We visited the only Tesla lounge. Oh, it's Nathan. What's up, Brie?
Lounge in existence.
Yeah, the only one.
And we had to get the merch.
So anyway, it's a consistent uphill thing, and the other thing that I talk about...
It's about drive. It's about power.
Right. The other thing that I talk about is that it...
We match.
We do, kind of.
Wrapping the
Yeah, a little
green.
The other thing that I talk about is it does... anyone that also talks about, like, arriving or making it, like, oh, I've made it now, that's another way to tell, kind of right off the bat, that that it's, not true, kind of what they're talking about. It's a continuous working. I never feel like I have made it, or that I'm 100% there on whatever subject that you're talking about. But anyway, it was just a good it was a really good time, and just some great stuff said. There was a guy there named Robert Bray. You can find him online. And I really enjoyed hearing stuff from him. Let's see. How do I get it to come up here? Where's my... Oh, whoops, sorry. Where's my iPad?
Also got no idea about that.
Let me go get it real quick. I got my other phone here. So anyway, Robert C. Bray, You can find him on Instagram and all that stuff. It's literally, I'm just making sure, but the ad here. Yep, Robert Seabray. Just had some great stuff to say about kind of some of the stuff that I'm really interested in, which is like, many different
things.
avenues and streams, but keeping them grounded in sort of a ministry type mindset, and keeping it where it matters. So anyway, really great time there. He was just one of the speakers. A lot of great people there. Mike, the guy from our church, the lead pastor there, he kind of headed up the whole thing. Did a great job. Levi, his son, was there. Lots of stuff. So really a good time. And we just got in the mindset of, okay, we want to get back to really getting our stuff in line. And kind of my big thing, and we had a great conversation on the way home, which consisted of hands flying and heightened voices loud.
Not yelling.
Which is my favorite. I didn't say yelling. Which is my favorite. And we yelled some. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We were going at it, having an important talk, and a big thing was I want to have at least everything that we're doing right now really scheduled out so that we can see it and imagine what it could look like in the future and see like what's it gonna be. And one thing Esther had said was, what'd you say, Esther?
No idea.
Esther said, I don't want every second scheduled out because then we can't just do random stuff that comes up. And what I was trying to explain is that no, once you really do have everything scheduled out, all this stuff that has to get done and all this stuff, then what happens is that actually gives the opportunity to do the random things, because if you got all the things you need to get done on time and on schedule and done, now that frees up a lot more time. What happens is when you procrastinate on the things that you need to do, there is no random time. There is no free time, because you're scrounging to finish said project that needed to get done at the time that you were actually given, but instead you procrastinated that time away. You were on your phone, you were hanging out, you were doing whatever. And so anyway, I just really want to really schedule everything out that we're doing and know what it looks like so that we can then schedule important things. Some things have to be scheduled, I think. When sometimes Esther's like, I want like time of ours together to just be unscheduled. Yeah, but you got to make sure you don't miss that too. So it needs to be scheduled in, like a date night thing, a specific one. Of course, we're going to do stuff. We see each other a lot, which is great, even though I work quite a bit, but I also have free time. And being able to make sure we have some scheduled, specific, not missed things. And I also want to schedule back in more, time of devotional type things and ones that we do together and things like that. And anyway, scheduling all the other stuff makes it to where that stuff can happen, even the not scheduled time. It's like, this is time I literally have free. But if it was up to me, yes, every single second would be like scheduled out so I could look at it. And it doesn't even mean I'm going to do each thing in the exact schedule, but what it does allow you to do is, okay, you're not going to do this thing in this time. All right, move it. Take that thing and move it to this other open time and have it to be this editable, online, simple. It's nothing crazy, just a Google Calendar thing to where you can move things around and be like, okay, this wasn't done here. Okay, what time should it be moved to? And I really think you should have all your time scheduled like that. I mean, I know a lot of people, they have, the one job that they go to, and that's great. I'm not minimizing that. But with what I do, I really have to think about all these schedules and things because I'm going to lose myself just entirely. It was on your painting now. So anyway, that's what we want to. That's something that we wanted to work on along with the paintings, is getting back to having a good outline of what we do. So, because for me, it also lets you look towards the future. It lets you see what you're gonna do in the next while and all these things. And it's funny. I was a Saturday morning Bible study that I was doing, a group. I got to talk about something that I used years ago, and they all really enjoyed it. But it was interesting. It's a thing called futureme.org. You can look it up. futureme.org, and you write yourself an email, and it sends it to you at a designated time, whatever you pick. You can say 6 months from now, you can say a year from now. And it's something that I used a lot in the past to like tell what I was going to tell myself, like, did you hit these goals? Did you do these things? And part of this study that we were doing, it said, write yourself a letter from your future self in a year or whatever. Like, just think about what it might say. But then you have the letter right there. But this email, you send it and you can't re-edit it. You can't re-look at it. It just holds it in some servers that they have some cloud thing, and then it sends it later. And I had done that like 3 or 4 times when I was younger. And a lot of the things I had done, and it was super exciting to see these emails from me. So I'm going to use that again on one of our lives in the next, hopefully near future, a week or so. We're gonna write another one of those, but together. I want us both to work on it and just start laying out some goals, some ideas, some dreams. And I think people can be very different. Esther and I probably couldn't be more different people, but something that can align you and keep you, together relationally is at least similar goals to some extent. Not the same goals. We have different goals, but we're both moving in a direction together. We're both headed somewhere, and we have to also both be aware of each other's goals. So anyway, some exciting stuff. So I am literally opening up a Google Calendar over here, and I think I'm thinking of what I want to attach it to. Which email I want to attach it to. So many emails and things. One that we can both connect on. I can just add her email, but I wonder is one that we don't use a lot because we have so many for other things. Find Your Hughes. We both are logged into that one.
Yeah.
All right, so it's going to be, because I don't have much else on that email. Find Your Hughes, that's something we're working on right now. Esther's doing some painting, which is great, as I babble on over here.
Babble.
Let's move to this account. And here we are.
Wow. Opening this black paint above my white
So I'm going to get
leggings.
rid of birthdays and reminders and tasks and just go into the Find Your Hughes. Get rid of all tasks.
Get rid of birthdays.
It's just on this email, because what happens is when you make new emails and then you hit birthday on the calendar, one time I had 5 emails telling me the same birthdays. Like, It was funny.
They just really wanted you to know.
Yeah, but I hope to connect with Robert C. Bray. C is his middle initial. Robert C. Bray. I keep saying it so you guys can check out his Instagram or find him online. And hope to connect with him more too. It's gonna be fun. So anyway, on this calendar, we're not gonna do it all right now, but I'm gonna find out if there's tasks, but also you can do tasks or you can do reminders and things. But I want them to be designated, timed out, exact things. I want to really be able to look at it and see what our day-to-day looks like. Because once you know your day-to-day, then you can zoom out, you know what I'm saying? Once you know the little tasks of each thing, the mundane even, the simplistic, the each thing that you're doing, you can zoom out and add more, take away, see how your time's being spent. If you don't spend time seeing how your time's being spent, you can completely... It's great. It's going great. So yeah, create. So task.
I'm so sleepiness.
I don't think I've actually used the task thing, and I want to find out if you can click that you've done it. So let's put this task Monday at 9. This one is this task is going to be just the beginning of my schedule, like school stuff. I'm just going to get it all set for you here. I'm just helping Esther set up her camera for the painting side of things.
Just how it's gonna be.
There we go. Now we can go back to double. Actually, I'm gonna send you just over to Esther's cam so that you can watch hers, because I'm not really doing anything watchable at the moment. Also typing to some people in our stream here. Crohn's here. What's up, Crohn?
Who? Ow!
Remember he watched us last time?
Sorry, I just like screamed into the mic. I smacked my forehead into it, so you know, that was fun.
I'll also flip her around so you're looking at it straight. There we go. So yeah, I'm just gonna work on that calendar for a little bit.
Wow, that really hurt my forehead.
Really?
A good hearty smack.
Alright, so the task you can't make take up like extra time, which makes sense. So those ones will be events. Because it's hard. I have all my schedules in at so many different schools and stuff that it you know, I look at this calendar for that thing, and then I look at that calendar for that thing, and and I have to jump all around. And so to see it in one that we can both look at is going to be super helpful.
You are out of my league, and this is mine. Unfortunately, unlike George, I don't speak while I paint
Oh, yeah.
because it throws off my concentration.
Yeah. It's alright, I got music. Alright, so I got one of my days finished over here. Now I'm adding another one here. Just going through each day right now. Because I work at 2 different schools. And they have different calendars. But now I'm going to have my calendar where it's like what I do.
Of the two.
Exactly. So it's not like a difficult thing to have or that we couldn't have made before, but it's like I already have all these calendars in other places, but to be able to see it, say it again?
Sorry, nothing.
Oh, so to be able to see it in one and that both of us can look at, Esther and I can kind of look at it together and say, okay, this is what's coming up next. And then to be able to see when stuff is over and ending so that we can schedule the evening time and be like, okay, this is when we need to work on Find Your Hues, the painting. Or this is when we need to work on Method to the Melody, the music. Or this is when we need to work on
Sleeping.
Future stuff, other things, you know, new. There's a lot of new things we want to do with the Find Your Hues, the painting. There's a lot of new things we want to do with the Method to the Melody, the music company. There's just a lot of different things that we want to work on. And we have some of this like handwritten on like a whiteboard, like right over there. But we just want to have it to where we both can see it and look at it and add to it and take away. Nate's emojis, the pig one is great.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
I was talking about scheduling and being specific and all that stuff. Nate, say something relevant.
What?
He's just setting emojis and eyes. Nate was with us on the trip. Nate, what did you think about the trip?
Oh, yeah.
I'll probably do a little bit of painting. Relativity is... Nate is typing something. Let's see. Don't I have the image over here? Or did we send it to the iPad?
Probably the iPad.
Let's find out where it is. The trip was a blast.
Yeah,
wasn't it good, dude? Great trip.
You would tell me why. Do you want to build a snowman?
I want to work on some painting too.
Doesn't have to be a snowman.
Oh look, I found it.
What did you find? Oh, the image?
So love, how are you feeling about trying to add new stuff and do more and...
Well, you didn't say. Wait a minute. Oh, sheesh. Did I mess up? Doesn't really matter, but I think I did. Cool. Love to see it. Hang on. Okay, yeah. Anyways, sorry.
No problem. Getting all this stuff scheduled out and being able to be more particular and more, what's the word I want to use? Just to be more purposeful with our time and what we're doing and
I mean, I feel pretty good
keeping
right
on
now.
track.
We'll see how I feel later.
No, but I mean, like what we were talking about in the car, you know, being able to...
Yeah. I don't know. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, the trip was a
but
blast.
I just don't want to do, too want to be too scheduled and stuff.
Sure. But you
But
you are understanding, like what we mentioned in the car, about how it's actually going to give us more time.
Yes, and if that's the case, I'm sure I'll be great.
Right. Don't you guys love how I don't have to talk about the live anymore? I have it all set up now. It's ready to go. Yes, it was really good. Work was mad I took off the time, but I was happy. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Work's always mad.
How about you?
Work
Ask
don't
Esther
care
if she
about
comes
you.
around this place often. That would be an interesting topic.
What?
The Hobby Lobby.
No.
No. Esther worked where?
I lied to their faces.
Whoa.
I told them I'll be in visiting. Y'all will
But you
see
did
me
for quite
shopping.
some time.
But I really didn't. But I
did
thought
you?
I would, because a lot of times I would get off work and it'd be
then
like,
shop.
oh, I want to look around. But that's just because I was seeing all the new stuff come in and I was there every day seeing stuff in the store. So now that I'm not there, I don't ever want to go. And I get a little bit not really stressed, but it just feels like an extra baggage on my shoulders when I want to go, because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna know half the people there,
Oh,
so
and
then
you're
I
just gonna
can't
try to shop.
I can't just go and shop, because then if I see some of the people that I know, then I would be rude to not stop and talk to them. But retail cycles through people real quick, so I don't even know that many people anymore.
Yeah.
But I just don't find myself ever needing or wanting to go there. And if I do, it's usually like, oh, I need this one thing, and I just go in there and get it.
Either go quick or ask Nate to go.
And don't feel the desire to look around, because I'm like, meh.
Yeah, Esther worked at Hobby Lobby for quite some time. Esther, how many
I
years?
low-key miss working in the warehouse. That was always my favorite thing to do. But
Really? You enjoyed that part?
I was rarely there, so.
Huh.
Yeah, opening the boxes, literally my favorite thing in the world.
Huh. Seeing the stuff or organizing? Or, like, what part of it?
That is a fantastic question, because nobody ever wanted to be the sorter, which is when you take the stuff that's opened and put it in the different categories. Sometimes I like to be the sorter when it was like Christmas stuff, because there's like super obvious categories, because it says on the thing it's a red ornament, and then it will say like, oh, candy cane lane, and then you know that it goes on there. But it's super annoying as well, because there's a million categories and like 20 of them go on the same aisle.
Interesting.
So then it gets annoying where you have to know, oh, these two categories go together, because sometimes you don't have enough room to make that many boxes. So if you don't know that 2 and 2 go together, then it can be difficult.
Something that was...
But anyways, opening was the main thing that I liked, because it was just fun, and then it was like exciting to see what was in it.
Something that was cool from the event, it was kind of... Esther felt like...
Plus, there's no customers in the warehouse. You don't have to talk to any customers. You just talk to employees, so you can just joke around, do what you want. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, Esther felt like the event felt like it was kind of geared towards like people that already knew what they wanted to do, or already had some sort of dream or goal or aspiration. In particular, and this isn't a diss on the event at all, but this was just something that Esther felt like she recognized, and she said of herself that she doesn't really have that thing.
Well, here's
and
what
so I like to hear, like she said, oh, my favorite thing in the world at Hobby Lobby, opening the boxes. Like, Esther still wonders sometimes what her calling, if you want to call it that, or what something like that might be. So
what I think is something is singing, of course, because literally I have loved singing my entire life, and I used to want to be a singer.
But you don't do it much anymore.
I sing 24/7. I just don't.
Right.
The only time I've ever done it as like a thing is with the open mic.
Right.
Which we did for quite a while, but haven't done in quite a while as well.
Yeah.
So I really do feel like I am called to worship. So be on the worship team, which I was for a short while.
Yeah.
And
you should have continued.
It was super stressful, and I didn't love it, but I know that I just didn't do it for very long, and I think I could have got to the point where it didn't stress me anymore because I got to that point with the open mics.
True. That's very true, yeah.
But, yeah, so I just need to do it for a while.
Get
And I
more
only
into it.
stopped because I was working at Hobby Lobby full time when I started doing it, and it was around Christmas, and I literally worked like well above full time.
Yeah, 10, 12 hours a day.
Yeah. So then to get up at 7 o'clock and get to church on my
Sunday,
one
that would
day,
generally
that
be
was
off,
that
right.
usually around Christmas you work like every single Saturday.
Right.
And you're closing 90% of the time. So it's like, oh, got off work at 11, got in bed by 12:30, up at 7 and sing on Sunday.
But it's not that you couldn't have done that either.
No, I could have done it,
maybe
but
it was
I
a time to force
not-
yourself to do that.
was not in the mood, and I think that's perfectly fine that I didn't want to do that while working.
Well, no, I think it's fine. I'm just
60
thinking out
hours
loud
a
what
week.
you might think of that latter. You're now looking back on it. It's a hindsight is 20/20. I mean, you're able to really look at it and say, was that the move? Because you're now sitting here saying, okay, now you wish maybe you did the singing still. You just said maybe you could have forced yourself to like it. Do you think potentially that might have been a missed opportunity? I mean, that's basically what you already said.
it would be easy to say that now that I'm not in the
Well, right, but you have to think back.
thick of working.
You have to think
I think
back.
I would have been. I would say, and I don't like to use the word depressed, but I was straight up depressed working at Hobby Lobby. And I think
Only during certain times,
another
though, not
thing
the
wasn't-
entire time of working.
not the entire time, but toward the end of it, it was like I'd literally be sobbing before I went in just because I hated it so much. And like the night before, I'm like freaking crying at 3 a.m. not wanting to go in. So obviously it just, I mean, maybe I'm just immature, but I wasn't like that the whole time. So I think it's just retail is rough. And I really think what made me completely just not like it anymore was taking on the management position, which I had said no to before because I was like, I don't want the extra hours. And they're like, oh, you're not going to get extra hours as an assistant manager. Liars. Complete, utter liars. Definitely got more hours. And I was already the type that was like, oh, I didn't finish my project, I need to stay late. So, even more so, I was that way as a manager because I'm like, okay, now they're really looking at me. So, then I just would kill myself.
So it stressed you out.
Yes, and I
being
just
an
couldn't.
assistant.
At the end, I started to be like, okay, you know what? No, I'm not staying extra, sorry. But even then, it was like saying no to staying 4 hours extra, and I'd still stay 2 hours extra, and they'd still be mad that I didn't stay the whole time.
Wow.
So, but that's retail for you.
Yeah, I did retail for maybe 6 months to a year, maybe.
I did for almost 5 years, so.
Yeah. Not a full year, but there's definitely just a lot of craziness for no reason. It's really for no reason.
It's just
I
the
worked at a
people,
very
bruh. If I could run the empty store, it'd be great. But dealing with coworkers always complaining and management always changing and being crazy.
But I guess then also the question.
And then customers just getting in the way of stuff all the time.
I guess also.
If you get a nice customer, I don't mind stopping to help them. But if you get complain, and blah, 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 and this is all your fault, you run the business completely and make all the decisions, apparently, as a retail worker making frickin' zilch. And they're like, you have the power to change this entire store. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Have a nice life.
But I guess, that also
And then
begs-
the other annoying thing, sorry, I'm just going to cut
go
you
ahead.
off here.
That's fine, go ahead.
Other annoying thing is like you're in the groove of your project and then it's like, okay, you're going. Oh, gotta stop for 10 minutes and help this person. Get back into it. Going. Stop again. And the management never factors in that you're gonna do that. But if you don't do that, you'll get yelled at and say, oh, why didn't you help that customer? But if you do it, it's like, oh, how come your hour-long job isn't done in an hour? Because you told me to help the customers, and 10 of them came up to me in that time.
Yeah. So what you're really saying here, though, over and over, which I'm not saying, which is fine, but I'm saying what's really being said is that management was really messing up, and how the interactions with other employees was the worst part. And of course, customers,
and there's
but
also,
we can't control it. I'm just wondering,
there's also specific stuff to our store. Like the top manager, we could not keep a top store manager. So that was really rough, because it was constantly, a new idea, a new person who's got their take on what's the biggest priority and what the rules are. And then it's, another person, so it changes. And then,
but I just want to ask you what I'm kind of leading to.
You get all the other employees complaining to you about the management, and then as an assistant manager, then I get
consistent and didn't quit.
Then I get even more so, because now I'm a part of the management.
And she's someone
I've been
that
there,
they knew.
Been there long, know everybody likes me, so then they come to me with their complaints about the people above me.
Above you.
And I'm like, really?
Yeah. But my question to lead in, there's a lot of retail, and retail is definitely an important part of the world and a big part of the world. Do we need better managers? Should we be getting other? That was a big part of the conference we were at too, which was like, we need strong young leaders and stuff in some positions that sometimes don't have strong, consistent leaders and whatever. So I just wonder, is that something that you think, Esther, having worked there for so long, is that something that needs that?
Well, there's always going to be problems, because people are not perfect, so...
Sure, but that's an easy out. I'm asking you.
What would have helped our store specifically is consistent management. And people...
So some of the managers were good, they just weren't consistent? Or even...
Well, they were here, and then they freaking left.
Oh, the quitting was the worst part?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the worst parts?
The manager that I was hired under, I have heard nothing but amazing things about. But she went to a different store that was closer to where she lived.
Yeah, you know what? I forgot how quickly she was
gone. I hardly knew her, but everybody seemed to think she was fantastic.
And she was, like, really sad to go, too, wasn't she? I remember her, like, crying.
Yeah, and even the district manager was like, I wish you wouldn't have left the store. So clearly she did a good job. But then after her, it was just like, we could barely keep anybody for more than a year.
Yeah.
And that is not helpful, because it takes like a year to fix what the previous person has done. I'm upside down.
Well, they can't see you yet.
Oh. I'm still upside down. They just can't tell. So anyways, yeah, you just always had to fix everybody's mess. And they almost, before I quit, were about to move me into one of the worst run departments to fix it. And I didn't want to, because my department, let me pat myself on the back, the district manager said was the best in the district, and probably the best just ever. So I was like, I'm not letting somebody else run this after I've worked so hard on it.
After you made it all good.
And now I go and I visit, and I'm like, oof. My child. They didn't take care of you.
You feel bad that it looks bad now?
I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but I just know it's not being run as well as I ran it.
And is that pride, or is that...
I'm not a super prideful person, so I'm allowed to be proud about that.
No,
is
right.
Is my take.
No,
but I worked hecka hard on it, and I cared about it.
Well, a lot of people that work really hard on things.
There's some people that work hard, but at the end of the day, they're like, I don't care. It's not my store, so they just are like, bye. I'm going to live my life. And for me, I cared about having it do well. And just not many people that go into retail jobs.
Is that an oversimplification,
really
though?
Put their care into it, which is understandable, because retail is not that great. But I think, which, you know, I should tell myself this too, but I think any job you have, if you put your best into it, it's a lot better than just skimping by for everyone involved.
Even yourself, though.
Yeah, you'll feel good about yourself, like I feel good about having the best run department, because I put my heart into it.
You would put your time and effort into it. And our friend still works there, so they've talked about her actually since she's been there. They've been like,
since I've been gone.
Right, since she's been gone. They've been like, they were talking to our friend that still works there, and they were like, there was this little girl. So there was this little girl, and she was just, what was her name? It started with an E, I think, and they were like trying to think of her, and then Nate was like, oh, Esther, and they were like, yes, Esther. And it was just, anyway, it was, I that was repeated to me, and I told her that, and it was just, I'm sure that's cool. I'm sure you enjoyed. It's our palette. This is what I have to, this is what you hear me spraying every so often. So I did a good stream. Don't want to keep Esther up too long, because this is the other thing. This is the other thing to get back full circle of kind of our original talk about starting our stream tonight, is if we work on the stuff a little bit every day, then we don't have to do super long at it. And if we find the time to, hey, let's do a little bit now during our segment that we've allotted for this. Hey, let's work a little bit now on, we can do things for a more realistic amount of time. And if it's worked on a little bit every day, it'll end up taking us less time. And that's also a good thing, working on things a little bit each day, and don't kick yourself for not doing something for super long. It's like, oh, I missed, and now I gotta do it for super long. Nah, you missed it, okay. You missed something, so be it.
I'm excited about scheduling more, because my cleaning, I've started to
like keeping the house in order.
Let go a couple days, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta clean this big old mess, which honestly probably isn't really that messy, but to me, I like things very clean, so
yeah, no, that's a good thing. So yeah, we
but yeah, I had a chore each day a while ago, and it's still written on the board what they are, so I'm excited to get back to that.
Yeah, so we're gonna get back into that. So yeah, scheduling, getting things that need to be done frees up the time for the extra things. So if you take nothing else away from the stream tonight, take away that. All right, guys, good to see you tonight. Got like 4 paintings halfway-ish done. Some of them are about a third done, and we're gonna keep working on those. And we've done a lot with the music business. There's a lot going on with that, and new teachers working, and new places that they're teaching, and that's going super well, and just continuing to work on lots of stuff. So it's great to see you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.